Today we're going to do a lesson a little bit deeper on convertible notes. And if you're a business entrepreneur, you're a startup founder, you're looking to raise capital for your company, just so that you can learn a little bit more about convertible notes, which are a popular fundraising instrument, and frankly, you may not have heard of them in the past. Before we dive in, I want to emphasize that the information in this video is for educational purposes. It's not intended to be legal advice. As always, it's important to consult with an attorney who can guide you throughout the fundraising process. So what exactly is a convertible promissory note? In simple terms, it's a type of debt that can be converted into equity, into ownership at a later time. Typically, it happens during a future equity financing round or exit event. Now let's take a look at the pros and cons of using a convertible note. Pros: flexibility. One of the main advantages of convertible promissory notes is that they offer flexible terms that can be negotiated and customized to meet both the needs of the issuer, the company, and the investors / the lenders. The interest rate, maturity date, conversion pricing, all of that can be negotiated and adjusted based on the specific circumstances around the fundraising round. Another advantage of convertible notes is they allow startups to delay the valuation until this future equity round or exit event actually takes place. This can be beneficial for startups that are yet at a stage where they can be accurately or equitably valued. It allows them to raise capital without giving away too much of the farm. Another benefit is, frankly, lower legal fees. Compared to equity financing and doing an entire offering, convertible promissory notes is a least expensive alternative in terms of setting it up with a limited number of investors. This is because the legal work required to set up a typical convertible promissory note is way less complex than entire equity financing. And that's where it gets to be very beneficial because it's a simple process. The process of fundraising with convertible notes, it can be simpler and faster than a lot of other methods. This is because convertible promissory notes actually don't require a complex cap table or involve a ton of different investors. Now, that's not to say that everything is roses with a convertible promissory note. There are some cons. And one of the main disadvantages of a convertible promissory note is the uncertainty around the conversion terms. Since the conversion price is typically not determined until a future equity round or exit event, there's actually no guarantee about what the conversion terms may be, which can make it a little bit more difficult for investors to figure out their anticipated return on investment. But the secret is they still receive that interest rate, giving them a base level expectation. Another con is convertible promissory notes often require interest payments, which can be a burden for startups. But there's a workaround here too by not building into the loan ongoing payments until there's the conversion event. Another issue can be dealing with dilution. With convertible promissory notes, it can dilute current shareholders if the conversion price is lower than the price of the next equity round. This can actually end up with the issuance of more shares, affecting the current shareholders by giving a little bit more away. Again, this is something that just needs to be dealt with during the structuring process, and any competent attorney will give you the strategies and coach you through so that dilution is not a major issue. Another potential con is that convertible promissory notes may not be suitable for startups that require a large amount of capital. That's actually where the equity funding and various types of investment offerings come into play. They do work very well if you have one or two investors, or if you're raising kind of the upfront initial capital to encourage expenses and to get things moving forward before you have a later round of financing with other investors. Now, however, despite these drawbacks, convertible notes can still be a powerful fundraising instrument for many startups. For example, let's say that you're the founder of a tech startup that you've been operating for a year, you've had some success, but you're not yet generating significant revenue. You believe that you have an amazing idea, an amazing team, but now you need to raise some capital to get your company to the next level. This is where using a convertible promissory note to raise funds may be very helpful. By doing so, you're delaying the valuation of your company until this future equity round. It allows you to raise capital without giving away too much at this early stage. In addition, using a convertible promissory note can simplify the fundraising process, making it easier for you to attract investors. With a convertible promissory note, you don't need to create a complex cap table. You don't need to create a massive private placement memorandum. You don't even need to involve a large number of investors with your next financing round. To sum everything up, convertible notes can be a flexible, cost-effective way for startups to raise some early-stage capital. They offer a number of advantages such as delayed valuations, flexible terms, lower legal fees, and simplify the fundraising process. However, there are, of course, some drawbacks, such as uncertainty around the conversion terms, interest payments, potential dilution, and other drawbacks that can be worked around by getting competent and good legal counsel. As with any investment decision, it's important to be careful considering the specific circumstances of your startup and decide whether or not the convertible notes work with your business plans. And as a reminder, this video is for educational purposes only and shouldn't be construed as legal advice. If you want to learn more about convertible notes, please check out my in-depth course on the subject. Through the course, we'll walk you through the entire process of using convertible notes, setting them up, and negotiating terms with investors. You'll actually receive a sample form with guidance of how to use it in the future. Click the link in the description box and learn more and get started today.